Hey guys and girls, today is an anniversary of sorts. October 5, 2025 is 52 months, 4.5 years that we've been on this journey. Very, very difficult journey at times. We've been on this journey since my beautiful Chris had that stroke, April 5, 2021, 52 months ago, 4.5 years. I get asked a lot of questions about Chris everywhere I go. I travel all over this nation. I still do about 60 personal appearances a year, speak at 15 or 20 churches, and we still shoot 1,000 videos, do 26 television shows a year. So I talk to a lot of people out there. I'm so blown away by how many of you are still praying for my beautiful Chris. And I've never stopped praying. Many of you tell me all the time that you pray every single day. I thought maybe I was the only one that prayed every single day for Chris's healing, but many of you all are doing so also. And you can't imagine what that means to me. You can't imagine how much that encourages me, how much that increases my hope. I have a 100% belief that God is going to heal Chris as she walks on this earth. Some of y'all have told me, not many, but some of y'all told me, well, I know Chris will walk and be completely healed when she gets to heaven. Well, I know that. But I'm believing that God will heal Chris right here on this earth. And I believe in it because I know He can. I know He has the power. He has the ability to. He can do things beyond our wildest imagination. And when Jesus walked this earth, and the thing that really, really encourages me that she will again be healed right here on this earth before she ever gets to heaven. She'll be walking. She'll be using that right hand. She still can't walk. She still can't use her right hand. We're going to do this video with a little bit of an update on Chris, but that's the bad part right there. She still can't. She can't walk. She can't use her right hand. She can walk. She can move her right leg. Her left leg, her left arm works perfectly. Still can't do anything with that right arm. That will probably be the last thing that is healed. But I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, what we've gone through the last 4.5 years, what Chris has gone through the last 4.5 years. If I had a worst enemy, I don't have an enemy. As far as I know, I don't have an enemy, period. But if I had an enemy, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy because it's such a difficult situation. My son-in-law, Jack, who is a doctor, told me when it happened, said, Jimmy, this is not a small battle. This is a huge battle. And it's not a sprint. It's not a 100-yard dash. It's a marathon. And it's a long, long marathon. It's not one that you're going to just run a few miles and be there. It's going to take a lot of miles running. And it has. And at times it's overwhelming to me. But then again, life has overwhelmed me a lot during my lifetime, and my God has always seen me through it. My God has been faithful through people embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars from our company and leaving us not only totally broke without any money, but with a lot of bills that were supposed to be paid with that money that they embezzling. That happened two or three times. We've been, in our lifetime, we were totally broke when we started. When Chris and I graduated from college, we were totally broke. And we were successful. By the time we were 40, we had everything we had paid for: our cars, our boats, our house, our land, everything paid for. And then we lost it all. We lost it all. We had that happened 2 or 3 times during our life, and it made us realize how actually unimportant money really is. And you can't really get by. You can't feed your family without money very well. It can be done, but we need money. But then again, when you have a little bit and you lose it all, and then God still provides, you realize what kind of God you really serve. You realize that money is probably the most unimportant thing of the things you think are important in your life. God's blessed me with incredible health. I spent one night in the hospital in my life when I was in there myself. Chris had only spent 2 in her life before this stroke. And she spent several weeks, and I spent several weeks in there with her, as did my daughter, Sherry. And Sherry and Jamie have been immeasurable in helping me take care of Chris when I've gone out on the road working. When I'm here at the ranch, I've got her with me 100% of the time. I do have a lady come in and help me a couple, 2 or 3 days a week sometimes, and it really makes a difference. But this is a difficult journey for her, and I'm so proud of her, how she's handled this so well. And maybe that part of her brain that would make it difficult or super difficult for her, maybe that was destroyed, I don't know. But she has just handled this remarkably. She's handled it like everything that we've gone through in our lives. She just continues to trust God and continues to put that smile on her face every day, continues to smile at me, continues to play around and kid, and much of her brain's been destroyed. The part that operates her right arm and her right leg, it's gone. God's got to resurrect it or transfer that over to the other side of her brain where she'll be able to walk. I don't know what God's going to do, but I really believe He's going to do it. I've told many people over the last 4.5 years, I'm surprised she's not already completely healed. I serve a God that completely healed. When Jesus walked this earth, over and over and over in the Bible, reading through the Gospels, the Gospel of John, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the Gospel of John is just pretty much full of all the miracles that Jesus did while He walked the earth, and is recorded in the Bible. Probably did a lot more. The book of John also says that probably if everything that Jesus did was written in books, all the books in the world couldn't contain them all. So I think that Jesus did a lot more miracles than what is written down in the Bible. But it says in there several times that He healed them all. He'd go somewhere and He'd heal them all. He didn't just heal 9 out of 10 or 15 out of 20 or 3 out of 10 like a baseball player. If it's a good baseball player, he gets 3 hits out of 10. He healed them all. He batted 1,000. The Bible says so. Just pretty much everywhere He went, He batted 1,000. However many they brought to Him, He healed them all. And He even healed people that He wasn't even around. He healed people that was not even there at the time. He never touched them. He never laid His hands on them. Yet He healed them from afar. And I'm surprised that God hadn't healed Chris, because I believe that He will. Because I know He can, and I have full faith and confidence that He will. Yes, she will walk perfectly in heaven. She will talk perfectly in heaven. She'll be able to use her right arm in heaven. Her and I will fish together in heaven. She'll probably fish with some of y'all that have gone on ahead of her, like my friends Ricky and Betty Green, Roy and Frida Adams. I can just name name after name after name of friends of mine that are already fishing in heaven. Probably waiting on Chris to get up there so she can maybe beat them again like she did so many times during the time she was fishing tournaments. One of her toughest competitions was Pam Martin Wells, and Pam Martin just went to be with the Lord. She's up there fishing with some of those other girls. She's up there with Sugar Ferris, the girl that started Bass and Gal, and Bob Ferris, Sugar's husband, that started Bass and Gal. When you think of all the wonderful, fantastic things in heaven, we all ought to be anxious to get there. All of us want to go to heaven. Nobody wants to go tonight. They wrote a country song about that. But Chris is doing so remarkably well. She never complains. She never demands. She never gripes about anything. She sleeps a lot. She eats well. She's gaining some weight back. She lost a lot of weight during that bout in the hospital. She's gaining quite a bit of that weight back. And I've said many times I may be about the only husband in America that tells his wife she needs to gain weight and talk more. I don't know that a whole lot of women hear that, both of those combinations right there together. You need to gain weight, honey, and talk more. They probably don't hear that too much. But that's what I've told Chris ever since this happened. And she lost all that weight, and she can't talk as well as she really needs to tell. And nothing wrong with her speech either, other than her brain is not communicating. She knows what she wants to say, but the words don't come out right in her mouth a lot of times. But she doesn't complain. She doesn't talk about the things she can't do. She doesn't talk about the fact that she can't walk. She just accepted her situation right now, and I'm not sure if she fully believes that she'll walk again, like I fully believe she'll walk again or not, but she's trusting God, whatever, whether she walks or not. I'm believing God will heal my beautiful Chris right here on this earth. And I believe that she'll fish with me again right here on Twin Eagle Lake. And I believe she'll walk around the house again. I believe she'll walk out and feed her deer. And she'll just use that electric wheelchair when she gets tired. Or maybe I'll just use it when I get tired. I don't know. But our family, Jamie and Sherry, Jack, Mandy, have been incredible through these 4.5 years. And she is so much better than she was. She's getting better all the time. I tell people that all the time. Chris is getting better all the time. It's such small increments that you can hardly tell it. But my son-in-law, Jack, he told me that it would be that way. He said, you're taking tiny, tiny, teensy baby steps of healing with this. There's no giant leaps in there. But I believe there will be a giant leap someday. I've had a couple of visions I haven't talked to people about, but a couple of visions where my beautiful Chris just walked up to me in the house. Just walked up to me, came walking out of another room, walked up there. When I saw those visions, I broke down crying. They were visions, they weren't dreams. I've only had 3 visions in my life. I know the difference between a vision and a dream. 2 of those visions was Chris walking. And maybe I need one more. Maybe I need one more before God's saying, okay, this is going to happen. I can't wait for that 3rd vision. That 3rd vision might just simply be those first 2 visions when they happen. But Chris is doing great. She's doing wonderful. She's enjoying life. Here's the other thing, and y'all, a lot of y'all, particularly if you're anywhere close to my age, you can appreciate this. She doesn't hurt anywhere. She doesn't hurt anywhere. Now, when her hand that's shriveled up, when I straighten her fingers out and straighten it back, now that hurts her when I do that. Other than that, her right hand doesn't hurt. Her right leg doesn't hurt. She doesn't have headaches. She doesn't hurt anywhere. They ask her constantly, the nurses that come around and on home health care, and then when we go to the doctor, they ask her, do you hurt anywhere? No, she doesn't hurt anywhere. And that's an incredible blessing to be going through what she's going through and not have pain. There's a lot of you out there right now, me included, that would love it if we could go through a day without pain. But pain is part of living a longer life. There's no doubt about that. And I didn't do marijuana when I was a kid, when everybody else was doing it. I certainly haven't done it here while I'm an old guy either. So they say that the marijuana helps on that pain. I guess it does. I don't know. It's legal here in Oklahoma, as long as you have a doctor's slip. Not sure you have to have a actual doctor sign that slip, but I don't know. But I don't use it. But she doesn't have any pain. She eats well. She sleeps extremely well. She goes to church. She lives here with me on this ranch. And this is where she wants to be, right here on this ranch. And so, can I tell you, your prayers have been answered by God Almighty. When I drove that 646 miles down to Alabama, and then Sherry called and told me what had happened, and I turned around and drove 646 miles back, drove 22 straight hours. The 646 miles back, I spent totally talking to God. Totally talking to God for however that was, 11 or 12 hours. And I asked God to keep her alive. I didn't ask her to heal her. I probably should have, but I just said, keep her alive, God. Keep her alive. Here we are 4.5 years later today. She had that stroke on Monday afternoon. This is Sunday afternoon, but it was April 5, and this is October 5. 52 months ago, 4.5 years. And I asked God to keep her alive, and God has answered that prayer for 4.5 years. And I'm very, very thankful. Very, very, very thankful. We are enormously blessed. God has blessed us more than we could ever imagine being blessed in our lifetime here on earth. We live in heaven already, almost. When I get to heaven, I think it may be just like what I'm looking at right here. It might be a very similar scene. If the fishing will be better than it is here, but it might be just about like what I'm looking at right here. So we live in heaven right here on earth, and we're still together over 61 years. Been married over 61 years. And we went together for a couple, 2 or 3 years before we got married, so we've been together pretty much all our life so far up to here. And that's just a very, very small period of time to what we'll be together forever. And that forever, Chris will be walking. Might even be able to fly. I don't know. She'll have perfect use of her hands. She'll have an angel voice like she had before this stroke. And eternity will be incredible. But I still believe that Chris is going to walk right here on this earth. I believe she's going to talk plainly. I believe she's going to be able to use her right hand. That hand will straighten out. She'll be able to move her fingers. She'll be able to fish, set the hook. She'll be able to do that. But I just want to end this by saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. There's been literally hundreds of thousands of prayers gone up for my beautiful Chris. In 4.5 years, I've said a lot of them. But some of y'all have prayed every day for her. You've told me you have. And many of you prayed thousands of prayers, even if you didn't pray every day. 4.5 years is a lot of days. What is that, like 1,500 days or something? Almost. And yet people have prayed a lot of prayers during that time. And I hear that everywhere I go, all over this nation. I speak all over the country, coast to coast. Everywhere I go, many people come up to me. How's Chris? How's Chris? I'm praying for Chris. I'm praying for Chris. Jimmy, I've prayed every day since we saw your video sitting in that parking lot in the hospital after you drove back from Alabama. And the doctor told you that she would never leave that hospital alive, most likely. He didn't say that definitely. He said she would probably never leave this hospital alive. God answered that prayer that I prayed, those 646 miles. God, keep her alive. Keep her alive. And He has. It's an incredible blessing to me. But I'm still believing she'll walk again. I've seen the vision, not once but twice. And the third time might be when she walks up to me. Just walks through the bedroom, into the living room, outside, wherever I am, and walks right up to me. And the only sight that I can think that might be more glorious than that will be looking into the eyes of Jesus Himself. And I'll get to do that for sure. Guys and girls, have you a great one out there. Thank you for praying for Chris. She's still got a long way to go, but we are blessed beyond measure. And I thank the Lord for that. A lot of it has to do with your prayers, I know. And I thank you for that, each and every one of you. Fish lucky. Remember, I sure do love you.